Hi BookTube, it's Gina and today is Tag Tuesday, so I am here to do a tag. I am going to do the Efftup tag, which was created by Daniel at GuiltyFeat. I love this tag, it's very funny, but it's all about books that are effed up. I was tagged by AJ Dunn. Thanks AJ for the tag, and so let's get started. The first prompt is a book that was effed up in a good way. And for this prompt, I'm gonna go for anything and everything ever written by Iris Murdoch. Iris Murdoch books are all bonkers. They are bizarre. The stories are always a little off the rails, and I absolutely love them. I thought I'd show you this one because this is such a beautiful cover from this 1965 edition of The Red and the Green. But some of her books, the sea, the protagonist is pretty much a stalker, not in a good, cute way. Weird. In The Bell, a woman decides she's gonna pull this huge bell up out of a lake, and that's gonna make the people there like her. Crazy, but wonderful, very fun to read. Prompt number 2, a book that was effed up in a bad way. And if you've watched my channel before, you know what's coming with this one. It is A Winter's Promise, The Mirror Visitor by Christelle Dabos. This is translated by from the French. Isn't that a beautiful cover? This was a middle grade book in the middle grade section of the bookstore. It sounded absolutely wonderful. I cannot imagine that this should have been marketed as a middle grade book. It's a forced marriage. It talks about orgies. It is not a good book. I did not like this book. It's totally effed up in a bad way. I keep thinking I'm gonna put it in my Goodwill bag, but paid full price for it. I love the cover. I don't know, maybe someday I'll figure out what to do with it, because it really is a beautiful cover, but it is effed up bad. So bad. Okay, prompt number 3, a book that everyone loved, but that you think is just effed up. And for that, I'm gonna go with Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. Of course, this is YA, and so I don't think everybody loves this, but I tried really hard to like these books. I read Six of Crows, I finished it. It was fine. It was a good sort of heist story. But this one, gosh, these poor characters, they just get themselves right back into another pickle, and it is so effed up. It just is, it's too much. It's like the story starts and just kind of goes, and I could not get into it. So I've only gotten, I started it and got about like a third of the way through, but I probably won't finish that one. Maybe I'll eventually get to it. Back to it. Okay, question number 4, sexy as effed up. And for that, I'm gonna go with The Lesser Bohemians by Emer McBride, which is, I'm gonna say this is effed up because it's written in this stream of consciousness. Like, hold it up like you can actually read that. But just pages and pages and pages of the author's or the character's internal dialogue. And it's really, I actually have not read this yet, but I've heard really good things about the sexy side of the story. So I do plan to read this one, but I actually haven't read it yet. But I'm going to count this one as sexy effed up. The next prompt is effed up for kids. And for this one, I'm actually gonna go, I could have gone for A Winter's Promise again, but that one, the poor thing, that could have gotten pretty much all of these prompts. I'm gonna go with Nooks and Crannies though. I just read this one. I don't have a copy. I will put a picture up here of that. But Nooks and Crannies is a middle grade book And the kids in it are so badly treated throughout most of the book that I just really, it was harsh for a kid's book. It was so effed up for a kid's book. So I'm going with nooks and crannies. Prompt number 6, an effed up classic. And for this one, I'm going to go with Gulliver's Travels. Look at this cover. He is huge and he's stomping on all these tiny little people. Effed up. Effed up, man. This book is, whew, look at that. This is pretty, this actual cover is in pretty rough shape, but I love this edition. I think it's really pretty. It's, I probably couldn't read it. It's about ready to fall apart, but I think this is effed up in a good way. Effed up in translation. Okay. Winter's Tale could win for, our Winter's Promise could win for that one again. But I'm going to go with, a novel bookstore, another beautiful Europa edition by Laurence Cosé. This is another one translated from the French. I love this book. But it's a little effed up. It's got a weird mystery, and it's a love story to books and to bookstores, but it's really interesting because it's not what I was expecting at all. But look at that cover. This is a really good book. I would definitely recommend a novel bookstore. The cover says A Hymn to Fine Literature. But the premise is that the bookstore is going to only carry quality literature. So it's kind of effed up. And prompt number 8, effed up nonfiction. Oh, this one was easy. This one is this chunkster by Richard Rhodes, The Making of the Atomic Bomb. And this one is effed up because I can't even get through it. And if I can't get through it, it's got to be effed up, right? Just kidding. It's very, it's pretty heavy on the science, and I couldn't quite get into that. I might try and pick it up again because I think it's really, I mean, this is a winner of a Pulitzer, National Book Award, National Book Critics Circle Award. So this is clearly a really important book, but it's a lot for this very non-math, non-science brain of mine. And question number 9, or prompt number 9, illustrated effed up. And for this one, I can only go with Grumpy Cat. Grumpy Cat is effed up. And actually, my sister bought my husband this book for Christmas one year because my husband is a grumpy cat. So Grumpy Cat here, he goes through all of, Grumpy gets a she, sorry. Grumpy Cat is not happy. And, you know, most stories, the cat is, you would think in a kid's story, I had fun once, said Grumpy Cat. It was awful. So you would think that by the end of the story, Grumpy Cat would, be rehabilitated. And he isn't. The last page is, the happy animals all raced away. Grumpy Cat was alone. Good. Effed up. Isn't that hilarious? So we're going for Grumpy Cat. And the last prompt is Hanya Yanagihara's A Little Life Effed Up, a book that is just misery porn, solely designed to convince you how effed up the world is. And I forgot to grab a book for that prompt. I do have A Little Life here somewhere, and I have not read it. So I'm just going to count A Little Life because I do actually want to read that one, and I do have it. But I tend to not go generally for books that are just designed to be sad, although AJ pretty clearly disagrees with that assessment of A Little Life. And I think from a literary standpoint, I would probably agree with them. I don't think that it's, I think it's very literary, even though it discusses some hard topics. So I'm going to skip that last one because I couldn't find another one that I thought would fall well into that category. And so now, who am I going to tag? I'm going to tag a couple new booktubers who I've just been loving, which is Shelley Swearingen and Bookends and Books. And then I'm going to go for a couple of more. Here is our foster kitten is going to make an appearance. This is Nellie. She is so cute. And then I'm going to also tag Anne with a Book, whose channel I absolutely love, and Michael K. Vaughn, because you have to do the hand signals when you do either Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff's channel or Michael K. Vaughn's channel. So those are the tags. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks, BookTube.